We're live. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space. It is 11:30 a.m. on October 9th. Almost a third through the month of October already. Time flies and things are changing. Nothing is normal. Everything is strange and we're barely trying to understand what the heck is going on. And there's a whole lot of stuff going on between these crazy politics, these crazy financials, and all in all, the crazy technological innovation that's being presented to the people that are seeing it. And that's kind of what I talked about last night. I hope more people see it, and I hope more people take advantage of what they can for themselves, because this stuff that we're working with will make a difference in our lives. Today's stream is sponsored by Change Angel Swap Exchange for social good. Non-custodial, baby. Input, output, the way to be. Do not deposit. Stop depositing crypto on exchanges. Doesn't make any sense. You want control. You want your keys. It's your crypto. It's your money. It's your finances. It's your future. It's your responsibility. How about that one? The general public's not fond of taking responsibility for their money. They give it to a bank. So the bank takes responsibility for their money. You know what else the bank takes? Your goddamn profits. Yeah, I'll take my responsibility for my money. Tired of the bank doing nothing for me at all. The bank. The bank. Who's in the stream? We got Angela. We got Dave. Yeah, damn right. I'm concerned about regulatory risk. But, okay, no buts. I'm concerned about regulatory risk. It is what it is. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Risk reward. I'm getting zero, nothing, negative, getting negative 10% keeping my money in a bank. I sure as hell going to explore opportunities and choices and options that are in my best interest. Boom. Dave says they're gearing up for some stuff. Yeah, sure. Lovely. They're always gearing up. Everyone's always trying to gain leverage over someone. Um, Barry's not afraid. My man. Igor's in the house. Dave, what do you know about EGW, Capital Blockchain Investment Bank, and DGB? Nothing. I do not know. Stelios in the house. What's up? Igor says you are wondering much about people's arrogance towards crypto. Yeah, the 2 trill. So there was that article the other day about the traditional banks laundering 2 trill. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's not in our best interest. It's in their best interest. It's their bank. It's their company, and they have the capacity to process that kind of money from whatever source, illicit source, no doubt, and they get their gains. And this whole world runs on greed and motivation, and it boils down to psychology, and it's in a person's best interest to for them to get gains, and some people don't have the morals to search out decent, reasonable gains. And then it gets more complicated with the whole U.S. tax system, especially the fact that they're printing money. So, yeah, I'm searching out good gains, investing in great assets, but I'm creating all these taxable events, and I'm going to have to pay taxes to a system that prints money out of thin air. Yeah, that's not doing good for my psychology, ladies and gentlemen. That's creating some serious emotional instability. There's something wrong paying taxes to a system where I have absolutely no say what my money is being spent on. I have no buttons to click. No one has asked me what I want to spend my money on. That is called, that's just wrong. That the IRS takes your money and doesn't even give you the options or the choice to choose what you're going to spend your money on. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And what's even more ridiculous is some folks would argue that that's not reasonable, that I can make a choice of what my money is used for. I have to let some other schmuck make a choice? No, I want to make the choice. I'm capable of it. I want my responsibility. I want to take the responsibility. I want the responsibility of managing my own finances. I'm not going to give it to a pathetic bank. Not my keys, not my crypto. These are my keys, baby. Whole new sheriff in the town, IRS. Take my. I'm gonna send a letter I'm going to send them a check and saying this check is going to bounce unless you send me a questionnaire what my money is going to be used for. Or I want a tax receipt. When you spend this money, I want to know exactly what it was used for. Tired of this. Ridiculous. No one cares, Igor. That's damn right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Barry, my portfolio gains, baby. Today's a good day. Let's bring it over to the main screen and take a look what's going on. Look at the gecko on the 24-hour filter. Ooh, we got some numbers today. Bitcoin ripped. I pinged this morning, early morning. Ethereum's on a bit of a tear with a 3.5% bump. Good to see UMA and Yearn. DeFi automation. Ban, Cosmos Oracle. Chainlink moving with 12%. That's nice. Aave 11%. Look at these nice double-digit rips. So this is obviously a change of pace. This is more so consistent, maybe March, April, late April, May, when things started to get hot. But, look, we're coming off some serious downward pressure. This is not, this is just the beginning. And this is not like, oh, I'm going to start taking high risk. Risk on, everyone. Risk on. No, 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 no. This thing has to prove itself. Risk on is when it is up 80% for the week and it's ripping 20% a day. And tomorrow's going to go up. That's risk on, baby. You're down, look at this. You're down 11%, 16, 13, 9. Ren's down. Oh, Ren's actually pretty much break even for the week, but it's still down. But it's not. This is not risk on mode. This is good to see, and I'm sure everyone's balance is appreciating nicely. But it's definitely not risk on mode, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Actually, for the first time in a while, I haven't really done anything. I That's it. I mean, I don't have much else to say. I have a balancing position. I got my Aave staking. I got my curve positions, and I have my off-chain cold storage stuff. And I'm not really like looking for more yield. I'm kind of comfortable with the risk I'm taking with Curve. I don't want to take any more risk. And I mean, I do have these smart contract risks in play. So I'm not really, I don't really want to take on more risk. And I have my completely risk off positions. And my completely risk off positions are probably about completely risk off. Man, we got to be way over 50% of the portfolio is completely risk off. I'm not taking any chances. Bitcoin's going to be way too valuable. Companies are going to be way too desperate to retain value of their treasury and reserves. The price is just going to be spectacular as the fiscal stimulus crushes the value of the dollar. Just crushing it. And 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 that's the thing, the bulls, the dollar bulls and the dollar bears have the same outcome. The whole question is whether the dollar rips up first. So if the dollar rips up and we have a bullish dollar, going up and crushing other fiats around the world, it's going to be the imperative, the fiscal imperative of the U.S. Congress to crush the dollar to protect the global fiat currency systems. And this is exactly what the dollar bulls talk about. You have a bullish dollar market because everyone needs the dollar, and the supply and demand is taking everyone else's fiat and is buying dollars with it because that's the argument, and that'll drive the price up. So the Fed and the Treasury will have to print to debase the currency and drive the price down and distribute. I don't know how the hell they're going to come up with some sort of Fed 5-10 letter acronym this time to distribute these dollars around the world. But that's always been the argument. Either the dollar bull, it's either a bull market first and then the dollar gets crushed, or just the dollar gets crushed. In the end, almost everyone agrees that they're going to have to crush the dollar. Um, yeah. Digi Light, always a pleasure. RR is ready for class. Woo! Tell us, my man. David, what's your take on CRV downside due to the massive? It's not due to the massive inflation schedule. There's a large inflation schedule. If you look at synthetics, it's a very large inflation schedule. Synthetics is highly inflationary. But if you go over to DeFi Pulse, you'll see that the vast majority of synthetics Load, baby, load. Vast majority of synthetics is locked. So even though there's a huge amount of synthetics emissions, the escrow, the vesting schedule for your SNX yield is locked for a year. So they have a really great protocol that incentivizes supply disruption. So this is literally an inflationary asset that has an overall strong enough deflationary pressure to compensate. That really sustains the price, if not just pushes the price up. That's how deflationary the structure of the protocol is. Now, Curve has probably even more incentive to lock up supply because the yield is actually derived from transaction fees. So there is absolutely no reason for Curve's price to have been hit like this. And anyone looking for a reason, they'll find it because it's an inflationary asset. But um, it will get better, particularly because the 0.02% transaction fee that will be distributed to the E-curve holders is not currently executed in a smart contract to make the curve purchase on the open market. So there's probably like $750,000 at this point that's built up to purchase curve on the open market. So that'll be a constant supply disruptive pressure on circulating curve because it'll be a constant curve being purchased merely by the distribution contract. See, claiming is not yet available. Um, so here, what's most pertinent about curve is this market cap to TVL ratio. There's something off because this is wrongly low. I mean, you got synthetics and ran at 80%, and this is at 4%. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I don't play that. I don't play. I'm not going to give in to market manipulation. Sure, you're going to get crushed if you bought 10 grand worth of curve and you're down 80%. But if you bought curve and you locked in VE curve, and what's pertinent to you is looking at this not as an appreciative investment where you bought Curve and you want it to double in value, which is kind of a stupid investment. I'm sorry. You're expecting Curve that's currently at $1.9 billion fully diluted to double in value. So next year, when all the assets are, it's fully diluted, you're gonna have this is gonna be a top something asset. 1.9 billion puts us at, oh, there's a big $1 billion club. Puts us at 1.9. Damn. 1.9. It'll be so fully diluted curve is number 17. Do you realize that? People are complaining about the curve price. Meanwhile, it's number 17 top fully diluted asset of all market caps. So it is a very high price. The problem is people bought it at a ridiculously high price. They bought it when they shouldn't have. And frankly, I bought it relatively high too. I bought it probably about 50%, maybe 30, 40, 50% higher than where it is today. But I didn't buy it from a uh, curve appreciation perspective. It's irrelevant. So I locked up my curve. At one point, this was 1-to-1. The yearly earnings was about 13 and change, and my V curve balance was 13 and change, and my V curve APY was probably about 130, 140. But to me, this is freaking ridiculous. I don't need curve to go up or down in price. I don't care if it goes up in price. I put in an investment and I'm going to get $7,000 a year, which technically will compound because I'm just going to take those earned CRVs and lock it back into VECRV because this is one of the best investments I could possibly think of potentially a lifetime. The daily volume of the platform is $114 million. Well, I may have seen this down at 60 million. I'm clearly back in March, April, in the early days. This was down about a couple of million, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. I remember 10, and it was going. Then it started to go crazy. Well, especially when CRV was released. Then it just exploded. But this thing has $1.5 billion in TVL. Guys, this just launched. This project just launched. This might be one of the best investments I could possibly think of. An AMM, this is a duopoly with Uniswap. So now, when I say this is one of the best investments I could possibly think of, that doesn't mean you take 80%, 100% of your available capital and invest in it. That's going all in. Never go all in. Never spread too thin. Position sizing. You need to be diversified, guys. But look at this. This is a damn duopoly. I mean, of the market, it's Curve and Uniswap, and everyone else is much smaller. So that's a big deal, guys. That's a big deal. 1.5 people are complaining about the Curve price, and it's a 1.5 billion dollar TVL in less than a year of operation. Can you imagine if a startup company on the stock market did something like this? It would be worth a fortune. Oh my God. Anyway, uh, that was a good, big answer, David. SNX is the benefit that people buy in stakes. So that's the same thing with Curve. There's no reason people shouldn't be getting CRV yield and locking it more into VECRV to compound their returns. To unlock 2.5x, it'll tell you what you need to unlock 2.5x. It's in the Dow. I think it's in the calculate page. Anyway, it's in there. Um, do you think the vaults are safer than LP vaults? As in what, like Yearn Finance? Oh yeah, yeah, you do say Yearn. Well, every time you're going through a smart contract, there's Turing complete risk. So I like the vaults, but I much prefer to minimize risk if I can avoid that smart contract that is increasing stability, decrease risk. Albeit there is the inherent risk of the curve contracts. So there's risk here. And I've been able to find myself comfortable with the risk. Fortunately, or hopefully not unfortunately, I sure as hell hope I didn't take on too much risk. If I got my curve LP position burned in any great percentage, that'd be very painful. Um, yeah, urine's getting hit pretty hard. It's okay. I think there's some complexity, and that's why there's more risk because it's an additional contract, it's an additional project. So you have all the risks associated with that project, not only from a functional perspective, from a PR perspective. Um, yeah, the VE curve reward will be paid out in CRV. There's some people that wanted it to get paid out in VECRV for with regard to U.S. taxable events. No, you don't have to sell your CRV. I don't know who's selling CRV. I get my minted my vesting CRV and I get my CRV returns, and the only thing I'm doing with them is I put them on balancer, and the odds are I'm going to take them out of there after curve starts to appreciate a little bit. I'll throw it back into VCRV. I mean, frankly, at some point I'm expecting this to go through the roof if it'll scroll to it. I'm expecting daily volume. I mean, it was at 60 mil yesterday. It's at 114. This is going to go through the roof. There's no reason we're not going to see daily volumes comparable. Because Curve, that's the thing. Curve doesn't necessarily run through, but Uniswap doesn't necessarily run through Curve. But 1inch definitely path finds through Curve. Maca most assuredly path finds through Curve. Curve provides the stable value asset liquidity. So if you have if a liquidity pool in Ethereum and DAI, and you want to and you have USDC, that's exactly where the Curve contract comes in, and you'll be able to swap for Ethereum using USDC, even though the major pool is denominated in DAI, because that's where the liquidity is, and that's the whole point of Curve. I don't have any thoughts on Staffy. It's premature, albeit it's speculative. It's cool. I mean, the concept of staking and the concept of yield is a big deal. I'm really excited about refinance. That's really cool. So that's that one. But there's nothing to get. I did do the Plasm Lock Drop, which is a very speculative play. Um, but the kicker with the lock drop is I get my Ethereum back at the end of a period of time. So what kind of that's a relatively minimized risk type of play. Um, David says I only go all in on Digibyte, baby. I would never, ever, ever go all in on Digibyte. Never, ever, ever go all in on Digibyte. Sorry, that just doesn't compute. Never go all in and never spread too thin, even if it's Digibyte, baby. Digibyte belongs in all portfolios in a very reasonable position sizing. It has the potential to be worth a huge amount of money, and that's perfect for 1% of your portfolio. If 1% of your portfolio turns into 20% of your portfolio, that's the win. Now, if 1% of your portfolio is $100 because you have 10 grand, the problem isn't the 1% turning into 10, 20, 30% of your portfolio. The problem isn't the Digibyte going crazy on value. It's you don't have enough money invested. And that's just the way it is. Means you have to work to accumulate more funds to get better growth. The whole point being is minimize your risk and maximize your rewards for minimized risk, which is basically risk adjusted rewards. Stop going for 10 billion% gains. You're trying to turn $1,000 into $1 billion. The odds are highly against you. You guys are looking for what's the next DeFi gem? What's the next low cap gem that has $30,000 market cap that's going to go up to $1 billion and then down to $10? And that's what all these projects did. That's what sushi yams, they all went straight up to the moon and then they all come crashing down because there's no substance to them. And that's just not what you want to do. What you want is stable, reliable growth. You want to manage the crap out of your portfolio so you don't have to worry about your portfolio. And then you're tweaking your portfolio to grow. And then the art of this process is as you're working, and you're making money, you're investing, and you're modifying your portfolio, you're molding your portfolio to something that produces for you. You're molding your portfolio into something that's actually working for you instead of you working for you. I want my damn portfolio getting its ass up at 7 a.m. and going to work for me instead of me getting my ass up at 7 a.m. I'll be up at about 9:30 after a cup of coffee. I'll see you at 9:30 portfolio. You get your ass up at 7 a.m. and go to work. Y'all know what I'm saying? Fran Corp, what's up? Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. All right, so I have very much unchanged positions. I got my balancing position with a bit of Bancor, accumulating that CRV and that other pool. Got my Aave position. I got my current positions. No doubt I got my Ren positions. I got Synthetics Yield that was produced at the beginning of the year, and I can't wait for their L2, their gasless minting system and staking and reward claiming process. That's going to be off the hook. Um, Otherwise, the charts look really good. We looked at CoinGecko 24 hours, so we've seen a systemic change in what's occurring, and this is good. But this doesn't mean you're risk on. As I've told you guys, you want a resistance flip support. You want double, triple, quadruple confluence that this shit's going to go up. If you have a high likelihood that something's going to rip 10%, that's when you throw 100 grand in and you grab a $10,000 gain. It's not you don't throw in big amounts of money into high risk protocols like I wouldn't throw. Can you imagine throwing 50% of my money into a Plasm lockjaw? No, that doesn't make any sense. Although Plasm has the potential to be a ridiculous smart contract, Polkadot substrate parachain. Oh my God, it has incredible, incredible potential to be worth a fortune. But I sure as hell I'm not going to put my money on it. Why? Because I'm investing on what is today, not what is potentially tomorrow. I know what's today, and I have a high confidence that I know what's going to be tomorrow based on what I know about today. I have no idea what the hell's going to be in a year. No idea. So I'm sure as hell not speculating what's going to be in a year. And I know for sure so many assets are not going to move substantially in a day. Digibyte's not going to go to $1 in a day. So this is the phrase time horizon. What is the time horizon for an asset to appreciate? I'm going to put the vast majority of my value in assets that have logically reasonable time horizons and optimize risk adjusted yield potential with minimized risk and maximized yield potential. Come on. Yeah, I love it. I love it, David. I love Digi. I got my Digibyte bag. I wrote the Android Digibyte wallet. I'm going to write more software for the Digibyte platform. In fact, this morning I was working on a way for to use Digi assets to log in. Someone would have to send the person a Digi asset, and then that would be like a login credential to like a website. So I was working on that this morning. I love my Digibyte. That has nothing to do with the fact that tomorrow the price isn't going to go up 10,000%. It's not going to happen. And I'm going to damn well protect the value that I've worked hard for. And the size of my positions in my portfolio are going to be very considerate and well thought out. Due diligence, baby. Woo! KSM. It's a big deal, baby. Oh, it's great. Well, Kusama? Come on. It's, the Polkadot Canary Network. Canary networks are ridiculous. So throw a 0.5%. If that's your speculative position, for me, my speculative position is Bancor right now. Kyber's way too beaten up. Clearly, I have my Cosmos Hub speculative positions. I mean, even Polkadot's it's all speculative. It's a Polkadot speculative position. I mean, it's you have decreased risk because look at all the development activity, and that's seriously pointing in a particular direction. Even Aave is a speculative position, but the narrative is so damn strong. And that's the whole point. You're forming this robust, fundamentals driven narrative. And Aave is going to take over mortgages because banks are pathetic. Pathetic. Banks are pathetic. And Aave's not. Aave's awesome. And that is why I have taken a speculative position in Aave that's producing, I think, 8% yield. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. The Digibyte one-liner pitch, the record storage and asset management. It's going to disrupt Amazon AWS, Amazon Cloud, and Microsoft Cloud. It's going to disrupt the cloud storage systems because it is a geographically distributed RAID 1 system around the planet. There's no centralized company that could ever achieve the geographical node distribution of the Digibyte blockchain. It's overwhelmingly superior with regard to information security and storage capability, being geographically distributed, that is. So yeah, that's a little bit more than a one-liner, but yeah. But what's the time horizon? The target market for disruption is entrenched multi-billion-dollar organizations. So the time horizon is going to be relatively large. So that means you can't. So bear in mind if it hits that target market for disruption and you put $1,000 in, it's probably going to be worth $1 million. So you don't need much when the target market is systemically entrenched in traditional business infrastructure. It's going to be a massive disruption. So those are the good speculative plays I want, where I could take 1% of my portfolio and turn it into 20, 30, 40% of my portfolio with big wins. David said, Pellets, have you seen Aave and Tinlake? Oh my goodness, Tinlake with what is that? The contracts where people could. I know what you're talking about, and I have not seen that, but I think I know where you're heading with that. That sounds really cool. So you can see this is that people need funding. Tinlake is the one that they get funding. Chico talked about them. Aave provides funding. They provide the loans. But instead of the banks giving the loans and us getting nothing, we could give the money and get the interest. Now we're talking, ladies and gentlemen, yield, real yield, because you ain't getting shit from your bank. That's what I'm talking about. David says, hold all your Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, and many other altcoins for Digibyte. Okay. I don't know why you sold the Bitcoin and Ethereum. I can understand selling the XRP. My man. Love that Digibyte, but I wouldn't have it as the vast majority of my portfolio. David says, yeah, check it out. Check it out. Um, uh, I'm tired of waiting for F 2.0. F 2, this is what I wouldn't necessarily wait for F 2.0 either. So I set aside 32 Ethereum because just in case like something crazy happens. Bitcoin is real. You want the vast majority of money. It's the safest, most risk reward adjusted risk tolerant asset, and it has a global. It fits into the global macro narrative of the traditional financial system. Yeah, that's what you want. Um, XRP's gonna, yeah, XRP keeps dumping. Why are you gonna hold something that's going down? Stop. Why does a person hold an asset that's going down? You get rid of it and you wait for confluence to find the bottom that it's gonna go up. So I don't know why so many people hold XRP going down. It's not like there's something honorable in holding an asset that's going down. That's not the way it works. Yeah, yeah, pellets. I know what you're talking about. You said you know what I yes, I do know what you mean. Chico talked about Tin Lake. It's a big deal, and if Aave could provide a funding source for those types of uh, what their initiatives and what their project is designed to do, that's a hell of a collaboration, and I sure as hell want to put my money in, lend my money for over collateralized debt positions. Anyway, that's the name of the game, folks. It's a Friday. I had a wonderful talk last night. That was great. If anyone wants to check that out, Crypto Campfire. It was a really good talk. Today was a good one also. But next week, we're back in action, baby, on Monday. We're going to have great talks as we always do. We're going to keep our financials on track. We're going to make sure everyone knows that banks are stupid and deprecated. And we're going to make great decisions to move ourselves in the proper, healthy financial direction where money makes money and that'll eventually get us to where our money works for us and we don't have to work for money. Thank you everyone for joining me. Smack those thumbs up. Tell everyone to subscribe and I'll see you on Monday. I wish you all a wonderful and safe weekend. Peace.